This video will tell you something about the properties of some other figures, and there's 5 types I will talk about and just give you a label to you. Okay, there are 5 types, so that give you a label 1 to 5. And actually, for the concept, this is not difficult to understand, and just want to highlight something for your reference. And first of all, let's start. And what is the rhombus? And for the rhombus, that is the quadrilateral with 4 equal sides. And actually, we know since the opposite sides are equal, so that it is automatically a parallelogram. And that's why we'll understand it will have all properties of the parallelogram. And 2 more properties is there, which is the diagonal must be perpendicular to each other. And one more thing is that each interior angle will bisect by diagonal, so that the content you can read the notes by yourself. I just show you an example. How can we make use of the properties to find the unknowns? Okay, so actually, if we just look at this type, that's the required figures, we can write down m equals to 56 degrees and n equals to 4. And you can just write down the properties of rhombus. Okay, that's all about the properties of rhombus. This is not difficult. And okay, for the rectangles, again, this time, since we know the size must be equal, so that again, that is automatically a parallelogram. And obviously, since we know the diagonals must be equal, so that they all of them is the right angles. And then we can make use of the idea is that AC must equals to BD, the diagonals must be equal, and then we bisect into 4 equal line segment. It is not difficult to understand, since for the parallelogram we know the diagonal bisect each other, so that if we apply this, we can obtain such properties of the rectangle. Okay, so again, just show you one more example. And we know that we want to find the unknown, so that we know that m, or we can write down that is angle QRS equals to 90 degrees. That is the properties of rectangle. So that we know m equals to 90 degrees minus 35 degrees, which is 55 degrees, and n equals to 7. Again, properties of rectangle. Okay, that's all for the example 2. And okay, let's look at the squares. Again, this time for the squares, you know, for 4 equal sides, that's the properties of rhombus. And 4 equal interior angles, that is the properties of rectangle. So that why we will have all properties of a rectangle and a rhombus, and that's the reason. And since we know for a rhombus, we know the diagonal will bisect the angle into 2 equal parts, so that we can understand this time the diagonal must be 45 degrees. Okay, so let's look at one more examples. This time we want to find that there is PQR is a square, but this time for the n, you know, we know that PR is perpendicular to QS. Since this is for that part, that's about the rhombus. so that we can write down that is the properties of rhombus. And so that we can find that n equals to 90 degrees. And then we know the 4p equals to p plus 9, and that is the properties of square. So that we know that 3p equals to 9 and p equals to 3. Okay, that's for example 3. And let's look at the 4. The next part, the trapeziums. And this is not difficult for you to understand. This time, if we want to define a trapezium, we know that there's only one pair of parallel lines. And there's a special case for the isosceles trapezium. And we have the following properties. And actually, we can just follow the ideas for a congruent triangle. Since this time, and for the ideas, we know that this time the triangle ABD must be congruent to DCA. And so that if you understand this time this is a congruent triangle, and then you can find the following properties. Okay, so that let's move on to the other examples. Okay, for example 4, you know you want to find the unknowns for the isosceles trapeziums, so that we can just refer to our properties, and you can write down this time for angle Q must be equals to angle R, so that you know K is to 78 degrees. And again, one more thing is that the two angles must be equal also, so that you can find that okay, and then we know that this time M also equals to N. And if we want to find that, we can just make use of this part is a parallel lines, so that we can know that M plus 8 degrees equals to 180. And the reason should be the interior angles and PS QR. That's all. And then we can find that M equals to 102 degrees, and so that N also equals to 102 degrees. And okay, just move on to the last part, the kite. And this time, actually, we can just refer to here. The definition is that there's a two equal adjacent sides, so that if we just bisect into two parts with the line AC, and we know that they are a congruent triangles, and the following properties will appear. So that let's start. And for the calculation, not difficult, and you know that n is equals to 21, and that is the properties of kite. And then you know this time M should equals to 4. Again, that is the properties of kite. And okay, for the part B, again this time we can make use of the ideas. Here we can know that M plus 41 should equals to 103 degrees. And y n equals to, which is 62 degrees. And then for the m, we know that the m should be 90 degrees, and y, since we know AC is perpendicular to BD, and y, we will have angle AO, not AOD, this is COD equals to 90 degree, and YM equals to 90 degree. Okay, that's all for the brief introduction for the 5 types of figures. Hope you can memorize the ideas and you can make more practice.